How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at The Nice House on the Lake, book number 11. So yeah, I believe this is the penultimate issue. Next issue will be the finale, and we're starting to get hints at how this will all go down. And yeah, that next issue, it should be pretty epic. And, no major spoilers for this issue, but spoilers for last issue. At the end of the last issue, we saw this book's first major main character death. I mean, obviously the rest of the world is toast, but last issue the Doctor did die, and now that's going to set people off. Walter has to make big decisions, and all of the characters have to decide how to react to it, and we do get a bit of division in the book, and how are they going to treat Ryan? We start to wonder about that. So we are seeing things start to move to their finale, and we do get some good revelations. I won't spoil what they are, but there's a very interesting sensory deprivation tank scene, and we see just how much, sort of planning went into this, and it is really interesting. And now a few things I wonder about. I think we only have one issue left, and we have to cover how we get to the fire world scene in the prologue, and then hopefully also have some sort of resolution. So this does end on a, hey, we're going off to the climax scene, but I hope we get enough pages to have a good, cool resolution, How do we get to the fire world, and then maybe what happens after, I hope? So I kind of am a little worried that we only have one issue left, but I'm hoping they can accomplish everything, and that really is what we have to find out next time. So I'll wait patiently for that. One thing I did notice thinking back on it, though, is the death of the Doctor, sort of the trigger for these events. That really is sort of like the big inciting incident happening all the way at the end of this series, which I did think was kind of interesting. So much of this book was world building based on this unique concept and finding out more and more about the world as we go on. And part of me wonders what it would have been like if the Doctor's death happened sooner, So yeah, it's sort of this big triggering event that, usually you get an inciting incident like this happening way earlier, but yeah, I don't know, it just seems like, this trigger happens towards the end, and now we get to the finale stuff really fast, and you kind of realize just how much of this book was exploring and how much it was just expanding on this interesting concept, which I guess kind of made it, sort of a slower, more studying book, hey, what would we do about this? I mean, there was like a whole issue where it's just about getting packages in the mail, so I think it is an interesting take for it. It's just something I have to think about looking back, just how is slow and meandering, but intentional probably this book was in this regard, and how far we push off the big epic action till the end, so that is something to think about. Not a flaw, but just interesting. And talking about getting packages in the mail as a whole chapter in the past, really this book is obviously kind of like a metaphor for the pandemic, and I'm kind of curious now, what it would be like to go back and reread this series, I'm hoping when this whole thing comes out, fingers crossed that we get a complete hardcover edition, but what would it be like to read this book like 10 years in the future, and, it opening up with her getting her forehead scanned to make sure she's not sick? That would be kind of interesting to have to go back and remember why people were doing that, having it so tied and being a metaphor for a current event. I am really curious what it would be like to read this book in the future, but this is all just speculation and thoughts. We are as I said, penultimate issue, building up to a big finale, and getting to see those reactions from the characters, getting to see everybody picking their sides, and Ryan really having to panic because, yeah, some people aren't gonna like what she did, and, you know, they don't even necessarily quite know it's her yet. So that is interesting stuff, and I really can't wait to see where this goes in the next issue. Maybe if they do a double thick issue, I don't know, probably just be one and they'll probably just pace it really well, I don't know. But anyway, if you guys want to see more of this book, I'm going to switch to the close-up camera. We'll take a little bit of a look at the story, a little bit of a look at the art, but I'll try to be avoiding major spoilers. But if you want a little bit closer of a look, let's switch to the close-up camera and we can take a closer look at this issue. So, to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle taking a closer look at the nice house on the lake. This is book 11, and we see the writer's symbol lit up there. Let's go ahead and take it closer to the camera. DC Black Label 399 01111. Book 11, first printing, main cover. Up top, we see the lights lit up, and for whatever reason, Nora's symbol appears way earlier, and because she's one of the last characters to get a chapter, kind of odd that they had to, like, skip her and then come back. Book 11, and even though we all know Nora, flip to the back, and we can see her picture with her symbol, the writer, Nora Jacobs. And yeah, I have to say, you know, with having such a big cast and that whole thing about focusing on a different character each time, is sometimes you don't really get to fully know every single character, but, you know, Nora and Ryan and a few of the others, those you really know. Also, there's Walter, and I'm kind of curious, he doesn't have a symbol in this little page breakdown. Don't get me wrong, I'm super grateful for the page breakdown. But yeah, all these symbols have lit up, and there's been a few anomalies, like when Red showed up, his symbol appeared and then subsequently disappeared, and I think at one point one of them was in red. I am curious what will happen with Book 12. Will we get a special Walter symbol? Or maybe all the lights will light up. I don't know. So much to wonder for the final one, but yeah, I do really like this nice, unique thing up here. Cover image itself, classic, you know, flash photography. She's reading a book, and we got all these books on the bookshelf up here. I'd have to say probably one of the less creepy covers. You know, the place is a shambles with plant life, but like the last one, she was getting into a pool full of maggots, which, granted, what happens to her, death and rot, right? You know, less of a creepy cover, still a good one, but, and you know, the classic middle of the night disturbance style photography, but yeah, not a super creepy one. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into the book. There is the cold opening, but credit where credit is due always, and we get the nice house on the lake. James Tynion IV is the writer. Alvaro Martinez Bueno is the artist, who also painted our really nice cover, all the A covers for the whole series, and they both get creation credits. And there's the house on the lake up there. Does this seem a little lighter? I don't know. I think the earlier ones were darker. What if this is like a slow sunrise and it's just hard to notice because of all the months that have passed? Anyway, to the story proper, again, no major spoilers. I'll be covering the setup, but I'll try to avoid a lot of the payoff. But we get Nora there, and she is burning books in the library to stay warm. And she's talking about how Walter was like a really good friend, and how you would mess up and you would hurt him, but he would stick around. And she says this thing about how like, she would get off track, and Walter would keep trying to help her and put her back, kind of like he would do with everybody in the house later on. But she talks about how she would, Walter would set her up with jobs, and, you know, it'd be like, hey, you need a, what is this, a copywriting gig at an ad firm his company worked with, all this stuff, keep setting her up with new stuff. Because again, I want to emphasize, you know, it's not what you know, but who you know. And so many jobs are just, hey, this is my friend, give my friend a job. And it's not, yeah, it's not qualifications. You learn that pretty quick. But anyway, Nora then starts to talk about the first time, now that all their memories are back, the first time she encountered him in his alien state. And they're watching this anime here, and this is back in the past, and Nora wakes up and sees Walter's parents, and there's like a flaming corpse on the floor. I kind of wonder what that was about. But yeah, turns out Walter's parents were aliens too, so that whole was there ever a human Walter? Probably not, but they erased Nora's mind, and of course only left alive because of begging there. So yeah, an interesting setup, you know, tells us a little bit more about life beforehand. But anyway, after that, we get Ryan going, what just happened? What did I do? And there's the control board. So, yeah, Ryan doesn't quite know what's going on. You know, she knows something happened, but doesn't quite know the extent of the doctor's death. Obviously, we get lots of grieving there. It's really the first time anything has directly been super serious at the house. You know, they've been trying to process the outside world in the first half of this book, but this is the first time one of them has, you know, legitimately, permanently died. But these two, Reg and one of the other characters, see, this is why it's good to have a character guide in the back of the book. The scientist, Veronica. Reg and Veronica are talking, and Reg says, yeah, it'd be good to do something about the dead doctor, but I don't think we can, and the only way that this happened is because someone else must be at the controls right now, and we need to seize this opportunity and make sure Walter doesn't get them back. And we get essentially 3 more people show up, and that will be the group of 5 that Reg is leading, the good guys, and they're going to try to take control of the controls before, you know, anyone else, because you get the dead doctor's husband. He's going to be acting a little irrationally, but I won't show any of those scenes. Those are just a little too late. We get a bunch of good conversations between Walter and Nora, and this scene, you know, it's like, hey, if you go to try to help those people, you'll be leaving me alone unsupervised. And I guess because she has her memories now, she can just get out of the mirror world or something. And he goes, well, I could just kill you. And she says, do it. And we get this sort of alien explosion, you know, very The Thing-like. But at the end of the day, didn't actually kill her, couldn't do it. And then I love this panel where he slips into the triangle world. Really, really cool stuff. The artwork is always great here. But yeah, we get the teams forming. What's Walter gonna do? What's Nora gonna do? And they're all clashing into each other. But, you know, I don't think I'll go any further in the book than that. There's a few interesting revelations and a few interesting plot points that happen afterwards, but I'll let you discover those on your own. But yeah, I do like the one group sneaking off, trying to take control. I like all these moving pieces. I'm hoping there's enough space to resolve it next time. But anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Nice House on the Lake playlist, where I've talked about every single past issue. So if you guys want to see me talk about more, you can click right there and see me talk about all the other ones. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.